double like if you like this video now.
It's a double
And
like.
subscribe now.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Radio Moss Pod. Today we are talking about Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler, the Creator. So this probably isn't going to be as long as most of the reviews for the simple fact that this is an album that I don't think there's a whole lot that you can say about it. And I don't think there's a whole lot of, I think that's on purpose. Like, I don't think Tyler made a point to have dense subject matter on this album. The whole point of this album is to get up, dance, move around, not focus on the lyrics, none of that deep shit, as he says in the beginning, right? So I don't think there's like a whole bunch to be said about this album. There's no reason for me to ramble on like crazy. And for that reason, I think this is going to be a shorter review. But nonetheless, I'll start off by saying I really, really like this album. So it definitely was not what I expected. I'll say that as well. I had an expectation of, I thought Tyler was going to go in a more accessible direction than what he had done for Chromocopia. But I thought he was going to be, really rapping his ass off, trying to get bars off, whatever. I thought he was going to go in that direction. He didn't. He almost did even the complete opposite of that. He went with a full-on dance album. And something that I thought was really, really cool about going in this direction after Chromocopia is that it's something that Tyler has done pretty regularly throughout his career. Go super experimental, then go accessible, then go super experimental, and then go accessible. You can look at it like he did that with Cherry Bomb, super experimental, followed up with Flower Boy, which was more accessible. And then again, did it with Igor, experimental, and then Call Me If You Get Lost. And then Chromocopia, and then now this one. So it's a pattern that Tyler has followed consistently for a while now. And it's also a pattern that I notice a lot of artists follow. Kendrick does this as well. Like Good Kid, Mad City, accessible. Well, Section 80, experimental. Good Kid, Mad City, accessible. To Pimp a Butterfly, experimental. Damn, accessible. Morale, experimental. GNX, accessible. So Kendrick does this as well. And it's something that I really enjoy because every artist, every person kind of has, two sides to them. They have obviously the dark side, the sad side, the shadow side, whatever, like that side that you need to therapize, that you need to work through in order to be able to still show up every single day, right? And then everybody also has the other side of them, which is, this is me when I'm happy. This is me when I'm not down on myself and when I'm actually high on myself. This is me when I'm feeling good. Like everybody has good days and bad days, right? And so I think it's good to reflect that in the discography, like to where you're not getting just a bunch of bad days in a row. Now there can be bad days on a good day album, right? Like on a happier, more positive album, there can still be sad or dense subject matter, but it's a difference between the whole feeling of the whole album versus just a track here and there. And so I love that people like Tyler tend to give us both of those sides. Like we're gonna get Tyler on his bad days and we're gonna get Tyler on his good days, and he's gonna make sure that just like you do in real life, he's alternating back and forth between those two worlds as far as releases go. And I love that, man. I think it's awesome. Let's get into a little bit. I do want to go kind of track by track on this thing, but before doing that, like let's kind of get into a little bit to. Well, actually, we'll talk about that later. I was gonna get into what I think "Don't Tap the Glass" means, but we can kind of talk about that at the end of the album when we wrap it up. All right, so getting into the first track, Big Poe. Big Poe was not. It just drops like there's. I guess there is a bit of an intro to this album, but it was definitely like such a jarring track to open up the project with. I do absolutely love the instrumental on this thing. The hook. And the nickname Big Poe for some reason I like that too. I have no valid reasoning for why I like Big Poe. It just seems like it fits Tyler. But my favorite thing, if I'm being honest, my favorite thing about Big Poe is is Pharrell, and it's not Pharrell's bars. It's not anything he says. It's just the delivery and the voice that he has. Just like it cracks me up, bro. It makes me smile when he says, I'm in Paris where it rains, married to the game, 40 carats in the rain. It's like, why is he saying it like that? But I love it, man. The Pharrell is my favorite part of this track. And I didn't even know it was him when I first heard it. Like when I first heard it, I was like, who the fuck is that? And it's because Pharrell is one to do this, like experiment with different voices on his songs. But I realized after a little bit, I was like, is that P? But I love the way he approached it. It cracks me up every fucking time, and it is catchy as hell. The flow and the cadence that he has. So Pharrell, absolutely my favorite part about Big Poe. I thought it was a really solid start to this album. Then we get to Sugar on My Tongue, and oh my goodness, man! If y'all could see all the birds flying out my window right now, Mabel and Barry. For those of you who follow me on social media, you guys know Mabel and Barry. I guess what is basically my pet pigeons now. But they're finally building the nest, and Mabel's getting up in the corner. She about to pop soon, so we're about to get another chance at raising the babies, which is crazy. The last babies, which was the first cycle that they did while they were here, they got killed by a hawk. A hawk came on my balcony and killed them while I wasn't there. So we're gonna do stuff this time to prevent that happening, and we're gonna try to make sure that we get these babies to fly. But anyway. So let's get into Sugar on My Tongue. So Sugar on My Tongue was pretty solid. I saw a lot of people saying it was their favorite. I'm going to be honest, it's not one of my personal favorites. Not because it's a bad song by any means. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying when I compare it to the rest of the album, I really, really enjoy some of the songs on this album. And this one, while I do like it, I do think it's a good song. I just don't have quite the same enjoyment as a lot of the other songs here. Now, Sugar on My Tongue though felt just the super synth heavy nature. Like Big Poe was a dance track, but it was definitely hip hop still. Sugar on My Tongue has these synths that are just so like 80s and like just really just 80s dance music. And so I love that Tyler like not only came at us with a dance album and said the whole point of this album is to dance. I don't want you paying attention to lyrics. I don't want you paying attention to subject matter. The whole point of this is to get your body moving, right? I love that he not only said I'm going to do a dance album, but he gave us different generations of dance music. And I said this when we did the first reaction on TikTok. I loved that about this album, bro. I loved that he showed, like showed that he has studied different generations of dance music enough to be able to try to emulate it himself. And I love that it was something that really you're only really going to pick up on if you're a music fan of all these different generations of dance music. Like if you are just a fan of like modern music and you don't know much about the history, it's just all gonna sound like a dance album to you. Tyler's new album, yay, exciting. But I feel like you get if you know what music from then sounded like, and you know what music from all these different decades sounded like, when you listen to this album, it's, even though it's brand new, it still feels like a little bit of a trip through the history of dance music. I don't know if that was necessarily intentional or not. It was probably just something where Tyler said, I'm just gonna try to make this one sound this way and make this one sound this way. And he probably didn't think about it super in depthly like that. But from a listener perspective, it feels like, oh, this is so sick. We're getting 80s, we're getting 90s, we're getting 2000s. Like we're getting, hip hop, we're getting like funk or like pop leaning stuff. Like we're just getting all different kinds of dance music. And just from a listener's perspective, one of my favorite things about this album. Let's get into Sucker Free. Sucker Free is one of my favorite tracks. I don't think it's my favorite. We'll get to my favorite later, but I think it's probably number 2. I absolutely love Sucker Free. I love the hook on it, and I love the inflection that Tyler takes. A lot of the inflections or the vocal deliveries that Tyler and other people like Pharrell take on this album, I absolutely love, man. Like they just have such an infectious nature about them. And the whole point of this album is to get you moving. And I feel like the vocal inflections and the cadences and the way that they approach their delivery on so many of these songs really, really helps to benefit what the instrumental is already doing as far as getting you to move your ass, right? I love the hook though. I love the instrumental itself. And again, I'm assuming it's been Tyler on the keys for the majority of this project. I probably should have checked that. When I go to the written by at the end of the lyrics here, it says Tyler is the only person. So I assumed that he's doing the keys on this project. And the synths are just fucking awesome. Like I love it. I think the damn near the synths carry this whole fucking album. They have such a groove to them. Tyler, if that was you were killing it, bro. I love it. I like the flow that he does to end the first verse and how it immediately goes into the hook after that. But yeah, Sucker Free absolutely was one of my favorite tracks. I love the talk box in the back. I don't think I've ever really heard Tyler use a talk box much before, so that was really cool as well. The Sucker Free feels very, I don't even know. See, I could tie a lot of these to, oh, that sounds like 80s. Oh, that sounds like 2000s. Sucker Free is one of them where I feel like we're getting a blend of a lot of different stuff, and maybe that's why it ends up being one of my favorites, because I get a bit of 90s hip hop from it, but I also get a little bit of 70s like funk and soul from it with the talk box and everything. I don't know, something about this song just really resonated with me. Absolutely one of my favorites. Then after that we get to Mom and Them. Mom and Them is like a minute and 27 seconds, I think. Let me look. It's like a minute and 15 seconds. That being said, it's still one of my favorite tracks on the album. I love the buildup of the instrumental, and I love the space that is left with the instrumental. It feels very like, I don't want to say like horror movie. It is a little bit horror movie-esque, but it doesn't feel scary like a horror movie would, but it just has that like haunting kind of sound to it. I love the hook. Again with the vocal deliveries and the cadences. That's going to be something that I talk about a lot on this album. The production and then Tyler's vocal deliveries throughout are, I think, the main highlights of this project. But yeah, this is another scenario where I think the vocal delivery like really helps the song. Tyler takes on this like hella gruff delivery. There's a lot of energy in behind what he says, and then also vocal inflections that he uses, like if he on the feedback, like it's just the way he says shit really just helps give a lot of these songs even more energy on top of the production that is already super infectious. Something that I found really interesting about Mom and Them is that so Tyler, like, from what I've gathered from like different interviews over the years and stuff like that, Tyler is a pretty big Nas fan, and he's like he's shown like appreciation for Nas albums that people don't typically like, or that people typically like shun and are like, oh my god, that album's terrible, whatever. In particular, like Street's Disciple, he used that same, I think it was on Manifesto off Call Me If You Get Lost. He used the same instrumental as, I think it's Nazareth Savage from Street's Disciple. I hope I'm remembering which songs and everything and the names properly, but I'm pretty sure it was those ones off the top of my head. And that's from a Nas album that most people don't pay any fucking attention to, but he I believe has talked about enjoying that album in the past. And when I hear at the end of Mom and Them here, when I hear Tyler use the Rain Rain Go Away melody for that pre-chorus right there, I just can't help but think about the track Shoot 'Em Up from that Nostradamus album that everybody hates, that takes the Christmas jingle melody and flips it into what it flips it into. So I just can't help but think of that. I don't know that Tyler had that inspiration for it when he did that, but I just find it interesting because the way Tyler approaches music and the type of music Tyler makes, you wouldn't perceive him to be a big Nas fan, but when you know that he is, you can just kind of hear the little glimpse of influence or inspiration throughout his music. And I always think that stuff like that is really cool. So yeah, despite being a minute and 15, Mom and Them is definitely one of my favorite moments on the album. Probably going to make my favorite tracks, one of my favorite tracks. And then we get to Stop Playing With Me, which Mom and Them transitions like seamlessly directly into Stop Playing With Me. And Stop Playing With Me actually had a music video with it as well. I believe it's the only one as of right now that has a music video. But Stop Playing With Me was pretty good. Again, not one of my favorites. I think the reason why Tyler chose this one for the music video was it gave him an excuse to put Mav and Braun in it. If I'm being honest, I think that's probably the main sell point as why this one got chosen for the video. But I do like some of the lines on here. They're not like super complex bars, and they're bars that are catered for somebody like me to like. But I do like the when I get to snapping like doo-wop, really got that juice like Tupac. Shawty got a strong job, Mike Chew Rock, got me coming out the blue like New Cop. I do really like that stretch of bars there. And yeah, I think it's a solid song. It's not one of my favorites on the project, but it still has, again, it's still very consistent with what this whole project has been, which is it's hard to sit still to this song. It's the same thing for all of these, and that's the whole fucking point, man. So Ring Ring Ring, which is absolutely, I said on Sucker Free, I was like Sucker Free falls short just by one other song to me as to be my favorite. And Ring 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 is that song. Ring 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 is absolutely my favorite song on this album. I love those fucking synths that are on the hook, bro. The like I love those, bro. They're so good. The melody of that hook, the ring 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 ring, pick up the phone. I love that melody as well. So absolutely one of, if not my favorite hooks on the album. Absolutely my favorite instrumental on the album. I think I'm just a sucker for that, just like playful, like cartoony, like 80s synth type of dance music. Like I love so much of Prince for that reason. This one at points, those synths on the hook, bro. Again, I'm gonna talk about them a bunch because I absolutely love them. But those remind me so much of Prince and like certain Prince songs. Why I love this song is why I love so many Prince songs. So yeah, Ring 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 absolutely is one of my favorites on the project. Then we get to the Slash track. If you're a Tyler fan, you know he does the Slash track on every album. Obviously, every time you see that Slash and you know this one's about to be a double track, there's always a bit of an expectation raise just because these tracks tend to be super strong on these albums. And Don't Tap the Glass, the first portion of this Slash track, absolutely one of my favorite tracks on the album. Yeah, bro, I absolutely love how aggressive it is. I love how loud and thumping this instrumental is. The sub is crazy. The fucking chords and everything are crazy. Absolutely, Don't Tap the Glass, one of my favorite songs on this project. It's right up there with Ring 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 and Sucker Free. I love Don't Tap the Glass. The first half in particular. The second half, Tweaking, is still really solid to me, but I don't love it like I love that first half. That first half has me in a fucking chokehold. I fucking love that first half. I really love the hook on it as well, and I like that it was the title track of the album, because this one, as much as I love Ring 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 and it's like it definitely gets you moving, like this one feels the most high energy, and you cannot sit still to it of everything. So I like that was the title track, and Tyler was actually rapping really well on that track too, which I always enjoy hearing Tyler care a little bit more about like the verses and the rap aspect every once in a while, because I think he's super talented on that front. And I think a lot of people don't really give him credit he deserves as a lyricist. So I do like when he flexes that muscle a bit, and so perhaps my natural rap bias leans me to liking this one a little bit more as well. And so getting past the Slash track, we get to Don't You Worry Baby with Madison McFerrin. And so Madison McFerrin did really good on this track. Her song, or not her song, her voice is super beautiful, and I love the melodies that she took to it, and a lot of the, you know, like entendres or wordplay that is going on within the song in general, like the carpooling line and things like that. Like it's just very well written. This is just a very well written song. I love the Let Me Rock. Like I love that sample that plays periodically as well. And this one actually feels very reminiscent of Sweet I Thought You Wanted to Dance. I don't know why, but just something about the energetic nature of both of those songs just feel so similar or correlated to me. Then we get to I'll Take Care of You, and I'll Take Care of You is such an interesting song because it has those synths, and I don't know if it's a sample that, like, if it's the same sample that Kendrick used on Uncle Bobby and Jason Keaton from the Kendrick Lamar EP, but something about the synths on I'll Take Care of You, the it just really reminds me of that track from Kendrick's project. And perhaps it's the same sample. I should look into that and see if it is. Instantly, like Uncle Bobby and Jason Keaton instantly popped in my mind as soon as I heard those synths. So it's got to be the same sample. And then I love the dichotomy and the contrast of those, like, so like what is it? How would I even describe those? They're so like mystical almost. Like they're like mystical. Oh God, mystical, magical. Please don't. But they have those synths have such a mystical like nature to them. And when you pair that with the Nuck If You Buck sample, I just really like the contrast and the dichotomy of those two samples paired together. I thought it created like a really unique sound and a really unique vibe for this track. I really like the drums on this track, and particularly during the breakdowns where it gets really rapid. You know, something I recall Tyler saying, I think, before in interviews, is that he wanted to mesh the pretty music aesthetic of people like Sade or Badu with real grimy hip-hop rap stuff. This is another example where he does that. I mean, you take the Nuck If You Buck sample and you pair it with this just very jazzy, very light synth sample. He's doing that here. So just another example of that, which you can see so frequently throughout all of Tyler's music, that he really does want to just pair grit and grime with pretty. It's a really cool concept and take as far as like how to approach your artistry. And as we can see, it's resulted in just an absolutely incredible career for him to this point and an incredible discography. So the vinyl version of my album has the bonus track Down Bad, which isn't on streaming, and I always like that Tyler does that. That's something that Tyler does pretty frequently with his vinyl, is like he did it on Igor as well. You got a track on the album that wasn't on the actual, streaming version of the album. And I always appreciate that. It's just extra incentive to get the vinyl. And it's also a little bit of a just like a bonus to fans who are willing to support to that extent. Like if you're going to go purchase 20, 30, $40 on a piece of music, getting an extra song is like it's a nice token of appreciation from the artist to the people who support in that fashion. So I always enjoy that Tyler does that, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites on the project. I fully understand why this ends up being like a vinyl bonus track instead of one of the core pieces of the album, but I still really enjoy the song. I still think it's a worthwhile addition and one that I enjoyed getting as a vinyl exclusive. It still fits the same theme of the album. It doesn't disrupt the flow of the album at all. Like going from track 9 to Down Bad to then to the last track, like it being sandwiched in there does not disrupt the flow of the album. It still feels like it's part of the album. It still feels like it was probably originally part of the album, but then Tyler said to himself, which of these 11 songs am I going to make a vinyl exclusive? And he picked that one. That's what it sounds like to me. But yeah, I still thoroughly enjoyed that song. Did not change anything for me. Like I enjoy the album more with Down Bad on it, which just makes me happy that I had the faith to pre-order the vinyl. As you guys can see right here, if I got the project that I'm talking about in the video on vinyl, I'm gonna just put it up in the center there. It made me feel good that like this is a project where I pre-ordered the vinyl before I heard the album, and I won't do that very often, but Tyler was an artist that I trusted with that, and by giving me one, a good album, and then two, the bonus track still being good and still feeling like it fits and the album is better because it's there. Again, just gave me more of a reason to believe like, yes, Tyler is absolutely an artist that I can pre-order a vinyl and have faith in. So shout out to Tyler, bro. And then last track is Tell Me What It Is. Tell Me What It Is another one of my favorite tracks. I really like the hook on there. I like the grandiose nature of this one to end the album, and I like that it's the come down of the album. Obviously, you just had a whole night of partying, dancing. This is the come down. Everybody, lights come on, everybody going home, right? So I really liked that. I really liked how this album was structured. Overall, man, I mean, if you can't tell, I really enjoyed the album. Is it one of my favorite Tyler albums? Like, no, definitely not, but it wasn't supposed to be. And is it one of his best albums? No, definitely not. But again, it wasn't supposed to be, bro. Like, this is very clearly, Tyler has very clearly reached a point in his career where he's got projects out that he knows 10, 20 years from now, when we look back, are probably going to be looked at as these are classics from our generation. The Flower Boys, the Igors, absolutely the Igors. Depending on who you ask, people might say, Call Me If You Get Lost might reach that point. And depending on who you might ask, some people might say Chromacopia, but Tyler already has these albums that are going to be well regarded for a long time. I don't think he cares too much about making this project better than the last project, and I don't think he has for a long time. I think he's just focused on, can I make this project different? Can I do the best with what I'm trying to execute on this project while making it different from everything else I've done before? And I think that's really all he cares about. And that's all I want him to care about. All I want from Tyler at this point is every single time you put out an album, give me something new. Give me a new side of you. Conquer a new part of this craft. Like, just, that's all I ask from Tyler at this point. I don't ask Tyler to make a better album than he did last time. I don't ask Tyler to make his best project every time. I don't care about that anymore at this point. Even if Tyler has already made his best album, he has established himself on a legacy scale to where all he needs to do is build on the legacy. He doesn't need to cement it anymore. The legacy is cemented now. And so all I ask from Tyler, all I ask from Kendrick, really all I ask from any artist. I know a lot of people have expectations of like certain big artists who are up and coming, like, oh, you got to top your previously released stuff. But all that stuff is subjected to me anyway. All I ask from any artist ever is give me something new, give me something that you enjoy first, and just try to get better overall as an artist with each project, but that doesn't mean that this project needs to be better than the last one. Does that make sense? Like Tyler proving that he can go through generations of dance music and make a whole dance album and conquering that form and that area of this craft of music that he loves so dearly. that means a lot more to me than if he tried to come out and say, I need to make an album better than Chromacopia. Because is this album better than Chromacopia? No, I don't think so. I like Chromacopia a lot more as a full body of work and just its intentionality. I just really like Chromacopia as a full project. I don't think this album is better than Chromacopia. But I would have been extremely likely disappointed or upset, or something would have felt off if he came into this being like, I gotta make something better than Chromacopia. Like, no, he didn't do that. He said, I gotta make something that is the complete opposite of Chromacopia, but still shows me and allows me to venture into this new world that I haven't necessarily done on this much of a scale yet. And I would much rather him do that every time. Every time. We got the Chromacopias. We got the Igors. We got the Flower Boys. We got the Call Me If You Get Lost. I don't need another one of those albums. I need to see what else does Tyler have in him, because so many people, like every human being has ridiculous amounts of complex emotions and ridiculous amounts of complex and unique experiences that they know that no one else does. And so I want artists to just continue to pull deeper into these parts of yourselves. And every time you release a project, don't think about, is this better than the last one? No, just think about, I'm making myself better by showing a new part of myself that I didn't before. That's all I ask. That's all I want artists to do. Tyler did it again here. He does it time and time again. He knows the assignment, and he executes the assignment every time. And it's why, like I said, I purchased the pre-order of this vinyl before I even heard the project. It's because I have faith in Tyler to where I don't gotta doubt that he's not gonna fulfill what I want. All I want from an artist is for you to give me something new and exciting with each project. It does not have to be better, because all that is subjective anyway. So all I ask is something new and creative and exciting and a new side of you, and he does that every time. So shout out to Tyler, man. I love it. I love it, bro. And really quick, I guess, because I can't remember if I talked about this in the beginning or not. I don't think I did. But I want to talk about what I think Don't Tap the Glass means. So Don't Tap the Glass, to me, I get this impression. So after listening to this whole album, I get the impression that Don't Tap the Glass, especially from my first listen, was pairing this coming off of Chromacopia, right? So coming off of Chromacopia, where Tyler is talking about, being paranoid or just being nervous about like parasocial relationships, and like people feeling like they're closer to him than they actually are, and thus it creating uncomfortable or freaky circumstances. And he actually talked about this on a track off of Wolf too. I think it was called Colossus, if I'm not mistaken. But Tyler has always, or has very often, especially as of late on Chromacopia, talked about parasocial relationships and people feeling like they're too connected to celebrities more so than they actually are. So with that premise in mind, when I think about Don't Tap the Glass, if Tyler is coming here to entertain us on this album, coming here to get us to move, to dance, make us have a good time, if I think of Tyler as saying like, if you think of him as like a spectacle, like he's saying like, okay, like I'll entertain you, I'll dance like no one's watching for you while you all watch, but don't tap the glass. Don't get too close. Like, keep your distance. Let me be in here, in my world, in my glass, doing what I do, and allowing you to see it, but do not think that you're a part of it, is essentially what I get from it. That's what I got from it on initial listen. Now, I know that I've been seeing other people talk about like, oh, it's also about like you're supposed to be up, moving, and dancing. You're not supposed to be touching your phone and tapping the glass. And I could see that too. That also kind of makes sense. I'm sure it could be a little bit of both. I mean, I know when I approach like album titles or themes and things like that, oftentimes there's multiple meanings for me. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the exact same thing for Tyler as well. So he might have thought about all of this when settling on this for the title. But that was, as much as I do think the don't tap the glass like the phone thing makes a lot of sense as well, and I think it probably is something that was intentional. The other one just felt, I don't know, when I first listened to the project, that was the one that I felt like, I get it. And maybe I didn't get it. Maybe I thought I got it, and like maybe if Tyler watched this video, he'd be like, nah, I'm talking about the phone, and you just pulled that shit out of nowhere. But that's kind of what I get from it. If I were to name an album "Don't Tap the Glass," I believe and make it a dance album like this, that would probably be my thought process. But Tyler's not me, so I don't know. But that's what I gather. That's kind of the meaning that I apply to it when I listen to the project, and the meaning that I find myself relating to or resonating with when I listen to it with that in mind. All right, man. And so that's gonna do it. I believe we got a pretty decent one here. I'm hoping we at least got 20 minutes. If we hit the 30-minute mark, even better. That's awesome. But yeah, Don't Tap the Glass, Tyler the Creator. I really enjoyed the project. I really didn't get what I expected, which is part of why I think I ended up enjoying it like I did. Again, like Tyler, just keep doing this. Just keep giving us something new every time. I don't care. I don't care if it's your best album. If you guys want to see where I would rank it personally amongst his discography, this Friday I'm gonna be having a discography ranking video coming out. For all of Tyler's albums, I figure what better time than right after he just dropped one. It gives us a chance to hear his latest work while also having the scope of everything prior to it to look at. So if you guys are interested in that, be on the lookout Friday for that discography ranking video. Other than that, it's been fun, guys. Please go check out all of my music. Head to kennymossmusic.com and you guys can see all three of my projects out. My latest single with Juice, my music video, anything Radio Moss. If you guys want more episodes, more podcasts, yeah, like head over to kennymossmusic.com. It's all there. But yeah, guys, go check out all my stuff. And I'm actually super excited because, like I said earlier, Mabel and Barry are officially like moving back in and nesting on the balcony there. Which I'm just so excited, man. I love those birds, and I love that they're trusting our space to try to give it a second chance. And we're gonna get these babies to fly soon. If you guys want to see more of Mabel and Barry, go follow me, Kenny Moss Music, on all my social media. I mostly use TikTok. That's kind of where like my community and my people kind of mostly live. But you guys can find me on Instagram too, or you can watch just subscribe here and watch the YouTube Shorts here. Pretty much most of the stuff I post on TikTok, I post here on YouTube Shorts as well. So follow me, keep up with the Mabel and Barry saga. Root for us to actually get these babies to fly this time and not end in fucking terrible traumatic ways. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you for watching. Shout out to Tyler for giving us another dope project. I'll catch you guys Friday for that discography review. I'll catch you guys very soon with some new music. I'm gonna be beginning the rollout for my next album soon, which is set to drop in October. So I'll catch you guys then. Yeah, bro, cool stuff happening. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Bye, guys. We'll see you later.
Tell them like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe and double like.
Yeah.
See you.